I have a bunch of new makeup that I want to try out, including finally getting to try the Nessa Myricks, her palette. Look at how cute this one is. And I have a new skin tint, I have a new bronzer, I have a bunch of new things. We're gonna try this out. I'm gonna do a full face and we are gonna see if these things are worth picking up or if you could just leave them in the store. What I'm gonna be starting with is something that I bought at release, but I haven't had time to try it yet. And this is the Supergoop Protect Tint Daily SPF Tint. This is an SPF 50. I got it in 30W, which I'm guessing is... I usually buy stuff that is either a light medium neutral or a light medium warm, depending on what they offer. And I think this looks good. You can see that my face is slightly lighter than the rest of my body. So we are just gonna try this out. This sponge is not clean. I'm actually cleaning everything this weekend because I'm not working this weekend. So it gives me the opportunity to clean everything. I actually think that this is gonna match pretty good. This gives more color than I expected. But it is definitely a skin tint. Let me zoom in and you can see something. I think you can see now that like you can still see my imperfections and like part of my discoloration through. It does look pretty fresh, but it doesn't feel sticky. So I think this might be, at least like first impression, something nice. And I will wear this. Actually today, I don't know if I can wear this throughout the entire day, but I will try and wear it again this weekend because I'm filming this on Friday. And I will put a pinned comment on how I felt about these items. And if I forget, remind me and I will put the pinned comment. Because I mean, a first impression, that's all fine and dandy, but like it's about how it wears. But I don't think today I actually have time to wear it all throughout the day. I don't think that that's possible. I also will say, I can tell you that now, I'm not using enough of the skin tint right now, as I'm wearing it right now to get the 50 SPF. I did not use enough. So if you want the 50 SPF, I think you need to use more than I'm using right now. But I will say, it looks really fresh. It looks really nice. It did give a sheer coverage, a tint. Definitely not like a coverage product if that's what you're looking for. It more like evened out my skin tone, took me to the rest of my skin tone, like for the rest of my body, gave me a nice glow and just even things out a little bit. I might set this with powder. We'll see how this wears throughout the video. It is not tacky. Like it's not sticky, but it definitely has a little tack to it. It definitely is creamy, but I just applied it as well. So we'll see how it is in a bit. I don't have a new concealer to try. I actually did buy that new Say concealer, but it didn't arrive and I don't have time to wait for it. So I'll include that in an upcoming video. Instead, I think I'm gonna use like an oldie but a goodie. I have it here next to me because I'm filming my Sephora recommendations afterwards and I love the Huda Beauty concealer. Mine, you can see, mine is so well used. So I'm just gonna be applying some of this one. I have mine in Sugar Biscuit, where I need a little extra coverage. Like that. I am gonna blend it out with a Cinch brush. This one is going up on Monday and Cinch Beauty is celebrating 1 year anniversary. So you will be able to shop Cinch Beauty 20% off until midnight tonight, the 25th of March. And the code is 1 year. I will leave the info for that in the description box. But it's only valid until midnight, and if you missed it, I'm sorry. I'll have another sale in the future. I don't know if I will have another sale though until maybe Black Friday, but I wanted to celebrate that we were turning 1 year, and look at how great that concealer is. It just covered what needed to be covered without looking weird. I have a new powder. I bought the new NYX Butter Melt Bronzer. Okay. I bought this from Ulta, and if it's one thing that Ulta is really good at, it is breaking your items in transit. They never bubble wrap anything, they just put it in an envelope and ship it to you. This was just rattling around. Everything in the envelope was covered in this bronzing powder. I literally just took some alcohol and smushed it down. That's why mine looks like this. This is not how it's supposed to look. I think we all know that. It smells very coconutty, and when I smushed it back in, I realized this is a shimmery or like a satin formula. I got the BO3 Deserve Butter, and I got the one that seemed the least pink out of the swatching pictures. And I've seen these in real life. And the funny thing is, I saw these at Target, and this one, I saw this one, the Deserve Butter, and I'm like, oh, this one might actually work for me. It looks more like a neutral brown. It might actually work for me, like a neutral like bronze. The other ones did look a little bit more rosy, but not as rosy as they looked in that swatch picture that NYX was putting up. I don't know why big brands sometimes just are so incredibly bad at showing swatch pictures that represent the actual color of the product and describing shades. Big brands need to do better. I mean, small brands too, but like big brands, you have the budget. You need to do better. But the one that was at Target was broken. So I decided to order it. In hindsight, I might as well just have bought the broken one at Target, but here we are. And I think I'm gonna set my face a little bit. I'm gonna use the NYX HD under my eyes. I'm gonna be using my beautiful little Cinch FO3. And then I think I'm gonna use the One Size powder, maybe on my face, but I'm gonna do my brows first. Just per normal, I'm gonna do my brows, and then we'll see if I still need the powder or not. Because I wanna give the foundation like a chance, or like foundation, skin tint. I wanna give it a chance to like dry down a little bit on its own, because like it's really hard to know if a formula needs to be powdered all over or not before you give it proper chance to dry down. Because I forgot to say this when I was talking about the skin tint, I am 40 years old, I have oily combo skin, and I live in a humid climate, and I don't prefer dewy, greasy, luminous looking stuff on my face because they wear off too easily on me and they settle into fine lines and they just don't look great, I think, over a long period of time. Those things look great when you're filming and they look great when you apply them. 2 hours in, not so much. So for that reason, I prefer something that I can have that's a little bit more set down because it lasts on me for a longer time. And I always set my T-zone because, again, combo skin, I know I need to set my T-zone. I didn't use a primer with this one today because I want to see how it is without a primer. I never pluck my brows except this one hair here. I have naturally thin brows. And yeah, these are my brows. I don't pluck my brows except that one hair, that one stray hair, that's it. Okay, so the brows are done, and I will say, I mean, you can see probably, there is a little tack to my skin, nothing like sticky, and I'm not gonna set it in my forehead, but I am gonna set it just with a little bit of the One Size loose powder on my cheeks, and I'm only doing that because I wanna give the powder bronzer the best chance. I don't know now that I like pressed or repressed, I should say, that NYX powder. I don't know if that bronzer is now going to behave the way that it should behave, if that makes sense, because I could have accidentally pressed it too hard. I could have accidentally, like, there's so many things that can happen when you repress sometimes. So I'm just gonna, I mean, it looks like my cat pooped in it. She didn't. But yeah, I'm just gonna go in. Oh, it definitely picks up though. Okay, so I couldn't have pressed it like too hard. And we're gonna see if this is so much more pigmented than I thought. Oh, wait. Oh my God, maybe I didn't press it hard and, send help. This is so pigmented. How do I, okay, let me, send help. I am just gonna look at that patch. I mean, that could be me. I went in with way too much, but it really did pick up on my brush. I'm just gonna blend this with my... I also will say, I don't know if this is the right shade. I mean, clearly I got too much. Like, I can see that I have eyes. I got eyes. I can see that that is not looking the way it should be. I'm just gonna add a little bit more powder and just tone it down a little bit. But what do we think about that color? I mean, clearly I went in with too much because I was like, maybe I pressed it too hard. That did not happen. I mean, it could be a good color and you can still see that there's a little sheen to it. But I will say when I touched it, it looks way, you can see here, it looks way more sheeny, like when I touched it. You see here, it's got a sheen to it. So it's more of a satin. It definitely doesn't look shimmery on the cheeks, and you can see that that doesn't look good. But that's me. Let me bronze my ears as well, because now they don't match at all because everything just got... Okay, don't pay too much attention to that. Try to like avert your eyes. I don't know if it's because mine was broken, but I don't love that. I don't love that. Don't hate the shade, but maybe I need to get another one. But if I do, I'm gonna get it in the store, because there's no way. I know everyone's like, oh my god, I love Ulta. They have all the brands and they have a better like system with the points and everything. But everything you get from them, there's either always something broken in my package or something missing in my package. And customer service never gets back to me. Literally the last 2 times that I messaged them, ghosted me. Didn't get me my money back, didn't get me a new one, didn't even answer my mails. So for me, I'm sorry, I'm a Sephora girly, because they at least package their stuff. There's no way that I would ever buy something expensive, order it online from Ulta, because I'm not going to get that in one piece. So Ulta, I wish that they would work a little bit more on shipping and a little less on acquiring new brands. That's my unpopular opinion of the day. I actually bought the new blush by House Labs. Well, this isn't the new blush. I got it in Pomelo Peach. This is the same blush as they had before, just in a new packaging. And I think they kept a couple of the old shades and they released a couple of the new shades. And I think that this is one of the old shades. Now the packaging is smaller and they have this custom like color on the front that represents the color inside the pan. I know a lot of people were in an uproar because this one now was like you were getting so much less product and you were only paying a little less money. And someone was even saying that, oh, because the packaging is smaller, it's less expensive. That is not the case. All the packaging and the blushes they had before that was bigger, like more full size, like they were almost like this long, more like a powder compact like this. They were bigger but square. That compact is cheaper because all the compacts are the same color. All the compacts are different colors and therefore they are more expensive because they can only do so many of each shade. Let's say they do 10,000 of each in this color and then they were able to do 100,000 of one. That would be cheaper even though they're bigger. So this packaging, definitely more expensive than the one they had before. And yes, you get less product and it's a little cheaper, but they are very, very on par right now with all the other somewhat mid-ranged high brands. With the amount of product you get and what it costs, like Tarte, ABH, like all of those, they're pretty on par right now with the amount of product you get and what it costs. I think their biggest mistake was that they were not doing this calculation properly when they were releasing the blushes first. I'm gonna use a Singe EOS 6. Love this one for blush. I think that they were just not doing the calculations before when they released the blushes the first time, which was their problem. I didn't buy those because I thought all the colors looked a little wild, and I guess this one would have been the one that I would have chosen then as well. But the main thing was that I didn't buy it because it was a matte blush. But one of you told me that this is actually a matte blush that has a little bit of a sheen to it, a little bit of life to it. Not like a flat matte, but also not a satin or a shimmer. So I can be down with that. And also since this is now part of the permanent collection and I love this packaging way more, it's so cute, I thought, why don't I pick one of them up and I'll try it? And maybe in the future they'll release shimmery blushes too, because that is always my favorite. I like the color a lot. I like putting my blush up here. I like it like lifting everything a little bit. That went on really nice. I will say together with this bronzer that is already bananas. There's no like really saving that, but that blush looks good. Is there a sheen to it? I don't know about that. Not when you sheer it out like this, but it is a really nice color and I do really like this packaging a lot. Do I even have a highlighter? I don't think that I do. I bought a couple of the ABH lip liners on sale when they were at Ulta because they had it's not 21 Days of Beauty anymore. It's like the semi-annual sale. I bought a couple of new shades when they were half off, and I have a couple of new products to try for the lips. I have the Faux Filler Lip Gloss. I bought it in the dark brown one that is called Cocoa. It looks, oh, it's so pretty. It looks like this. Let's smell it. Smells just sweet, a little taffy-ish. So I kind of want to end up with this gloss, but I also did buy, and I talked about this a while ago, the Maracuja Juicy Lip Vinyls. I might have been drunk ordering the shades though, because what the actual fluff is this? Why did I, Angie, who does not like pink lips, order an 80s crazy magenta fuchsia? Am I okay? How drunk was I? So this is called Sheer Lotus. And maybe that's why I got this one, because I know all the sheer shades were only pink. But why did I get like a Why did I get this? And then I got one that was not a sheer one. And this is the Lip Vinyl in Cacao. And this one is a dark brown. Ooh. So I was thinking, let's try those on first. And let me do a lip liner. I think I'm gonna do Muted Mauve. Oh, this looks so yummy. Oh, that is a great color. I'm gonna do this one, and then we'll try the Tarte ones first. Okay, I gotta say, this lip liner, ooh, it's such a good color for me. Okay, let's start with the pink one. So what is the difference between these new vinyl ones and the ones that they had from before? This one, you can see it comes in like a almost metallic lavender one, and then it has the color on the bottom, and also in like the cap you see here, because this one is a brown and this one is like a pink. So the difference is supposed to be that these vinyl ones are supposed to be even shinier, like a vinyl like shine, and I'm gonna see if that's true. So this is the pink one, and this is a sheer one. They come in different formulas. They had one that's opaque. This one is opaque. This one is sheer. They also had a sparkly one, but I decided to not get that one because, okay, a lot of product comes off because I don't like sparkly lips. I don't know how sheer this is. Okay, you cannot swipe with these. You have to dot. These are a little goopy. Oh God. They're a little goopy. You can see it's like puddling. Okay, I feel like I needed a finger or a tool or a brush to get these to look somewhat even on the lips. That does look really good, and it feels nice. It's not sticky, but it is a little goopy. Like I can feel like it's thick. It has a little bit of that minty sensation that Tarte usually does, but I mean, you can even see here how goopy that looks. Like, and I have like a puddle on my finger. I don't know how I feel about that. This is gonna be very interesting with the brown one because this is a recipe for disaster. Do they smell a little coconut? They do. They smell coconut. That's nice. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. I'm gonna click this one up just a little bit because this one, this formula is much, much goopier than some of the other ones. Not all of these click ones from Tarte are created equal. This is very, very soft. Oh. How am I supposed to? How am I supposed to? Because look, it's even so thick that I'm like taking it off with the packaging. How am I supposed to get this off? There's no way. I'm telling you right now, there's no way that you can get, because this is opaque and this is supposed to be opaque, but there's no way that you can get an opaque even result with this one and not using a brush. So let me see if I can reach in and get a brush. Just gonna get, oh, this one. Just a synthetic flat one. But now I'm like, What the? And now the gloss. This product sucks. What the? And now it's on the edge and this, it looks like poop on my lips. Okay, I can't. No, we're not doing this. And like, look, that was like on the side of this one. Ugh. No, this, whoever, okay. Tarte, I know you want to make money and you want to make as many of these click sticks as possible, but this doesn't work. This doesn't work. I hated that. I hated the look of it. I hated how sticky it was and goopy. I hated how it looked. I hate how it feel. I hated everything about it. And like everything is in my brush now. And it looks so patchy and awful, and you couldn't even use a brush with it. Like, what was the point? What was the point? Nope. Let me get some lip liner on, and let's do that Huda gloss, because those Tarte ones. Okay, so this is in Cocoa, and I am very excited about this because my friend Karen Harris said she really loves these. Feels thinner on the lips, and of course it's a darker shade, so I need to work with it. But at least I have an applicator here that actually like moves the product around. That looks nice. Just applying a little bit more. Definitely not streak proof, but also not as horrible as that other one. That looks really nice. It's like a nice cool tone milky chocolate on me. Oh, I do like that one. Let me see. I'm just going to apply a little bit of this Too Faced highlighter. I'm just going to apply a little bit on my cheekbones because I do really like this highlighter and I don't have a new highlighter to try out. I am still loving highlighter. I know it's not for everyone. I know we're coming into this no highlighter, matte, natural skin, but I'm sorry, not participating. So let's then dive into the Danessa Myricks Groundwork Blooming Romance palette. I think this looks incredible. I love the contrast. I love that there's really dark, really light, and there's some different undertones, some like reddish corals, a more muted one, some pinks, a peach. There is a pomade and there is a powder, and I think I am gonna start with the pomades, and I think I'm not gonna use eye primer. I have never tried the Danessa Myricks shadow formula. I have not bought any of her multichrome palettes because I have so many multichromes from indie brands, and I didn't try the Groundworks palette that was a brown one because it was brown. This one is so cute though. I think we're gonna do this one. This pomade, I think that's the pomade, right? Yes, it is called Bliss. So I'm doing the pomade of Bliss. Ooh, it picks up so interestingly. I have no idea what I'm expecting. I'm used to working... That's very promising. I'm used to working with the cream to powder that Natasha Denona has, and I love those. And I will say, first initial impression, these do perform a little bit similar. And I know that these Groundwork palettes are meant to be versatile. You can use them all over your face, basically, on your lips, on your eyebrows, on your eyes, on your cheeks. And before I review this palette, I will of course do that. But for the sake of this video, I will only be using it on the eyes because I had another lip product and another blush that I wanted to try. But that looks incredible. So I'm choosing to not do a primer today because I'm using these pomades as primers. But that looks great. Truly love it. I'm gonna do dark, light, super light. I'm gonna play with the contrast and I'm gonna keep it matte. I saw this picture over at Danessa Myricks and that is gonna be my inspiration. It's a look that she did on one of the models with this palette. And that is definitely my inspiration for this look, that kind of a look. So I don't know if it's gonna be that structured in the ends. Maybe we'll even try that because we have these pomades. Maybe we'll actually try that. Maybe if I clean that brush that I was using for that goopy lip thing, if I clean that one, we might be able to use that for the light. Look, I can even blend this out without adding any powder. Wow. So I've used this one. I think I'm gonna move into... No, I think I'm gonna move into this one and then the lightest one. So I'm gonna do this one that is called Allure. And I'm just gonna do a slightly smaller brush, and I'm still working with the pomade. You can see it's like picking up like a pomade, and I'm gonna put this in just the middle of the eye and maybe just a little bit in the inner part of the crease. And I put a little bit under my eye. I think you can see. And we're gonna work with the powders too. I'm just putting down the foundation now. And I think I'm gonna save both the light powder and pomade to the very end. I think I'm gonna do the Allure, which was that mid shade now. I'm gonna do the powder, which is next to it. And I am gonna start just pressing that over where I put the pomade. And I might use that to blend the edge up here as well, because I don't want to use like a super dark shadow there. This is the smallest kind of blending brush. This one is not clean. Hold. And I'm gonna do an even darker powder, I think. I don't know if I'm gonna use this powder. I think I might use an even darker powder just to deepen this up. This is XO, which is the dark brown. And yeah, I might use this one to deepen this up even more. Just in the outer corner. And then just leave the rest of the pomade as is. Oh, that looks so sexy. One of the things I noticed with this gloss is it settles in my lines. So it makes my lips look a little striped. I don't know if I love that. It's a nice gloss, but I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite formula. Okay, I'm actually gonna use my own brush instead. This is also not clean. Told you, this weekend we're deep cleaning brushes. I am gonna use this one, and I'm gonna use that very light pink pomade. This, and we're gonna see if we can do like the sharpness that I saw in the picture. That is such a nice color. It's a little bit, of course, on the, like I said, pomade drier side, so you can't like draw it on like you would like an actual cream. But I feel like it definitely works. This brush is so great if you're doing like detailed work. Okay, let me see if I can set this. This isn't exactly the way that like the inspiration picture was, because she was having a little bit more of a cut line out here as well. But I was more inspired by some of the placement. I will say, I do wish the pomades were maybe just a smidgen more creamy. It would make it easier to work with a brush. Not that it's impossible, but I would wish for them to be just a smidgen more creamy. But I do think that this looks really good, and I'm very impressed with the result and how it looks. I'm actually gonna, you know what I bought? Nobody's gonna be surprised. I bought another one of these Tarte eye pens. I've been loving these, and it came in a travel size. Look at how cute it is. So this is a like light beige one. So I am gonna use this in my waterline, and we're gonna apply a little mascara, and then we can try those new lashes from Linda Hallberg. I'm very excited trying these. I think I might cut off a little bit and make it into a half lash. You know, I love a good half lash. And I saw that Linda herself was talking about how she loves to use this one. This exact style that's called Hero. She likes to use that as a half lash. And if it's good enough for Linda, it is good enough for me. Okay, so this is the lash. And when you want to do a half lash, you cannot cut the inner part because you need that little tapering. So you cut the outer part. So I am going to cut off 2 of these, and I think that is going to be perfect. if I cut off 2. Oh, and I forgot to say, they released a lash glue as well. So I am going to be using this glue for the lashes too, because clearly we need to see if this is good or not. It's white going on. Usually the right time to put your lash on is when the glue has changed color. Like you need it to get a little bit of tack, like a little half dry, before you can put it on your eyes, and that can be anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes. So don't put them on your lashes like too quickly, because it's going to be really hard to make them stick. Okay, so the lash glue has started to become a little see-through, and this lash glue, it's latex free, which is good because I have latex sensitivity. I cannot do latex glues, and it does dry down completely transparent. So I'm gonna put this down, and I'm gonna use a little, I'm gonna take glue off, and I'm gonna set this one down. And then when the lash glue dries down clear, this should make sense. Okay, before we finish up the video, this is what the lashes look like. And I gotta say, they actually look pretty, I don't wanna say natural, but like, they're not off. Like, it's a really good half lash that is not as like thick and dramatic as some of the half lashes that I normally use, but it's still got the length. I want the length because I have a long space, like my lid space, the space between my brows and my eyes is pretty long. So I want a long lash, but I don't necessarily want a thick lash. I think these could be a winner. Overall, I'm very happy with my look. You can already tell that my face is looking glowy, but I will say, like I said, I set it with some powder and it doesn't feel sticky at all. It just looks a little glowy without being tacky. That I can do, and like I said, I will put a pinned comment down below letting you know how I feel about it. I feel like the gloss wore away. It's a very comfortable gloss, but as you probably can see, it's, I mean, yes, this is a dark color, but it doesn't go on super evenly. And I do have darker glosses that go on evenly, even though I have lighter lips and a lighter skin tone. So I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe not my favorite. It's comfortable, it looks glossy. I just don't know about the way the color looks on the lips. Those Tarte ones? No. No, not doing that. The bronzer, I need to use it more. It was just way too pigmented and I went in with too much, and that was my fault. And again, I don't know if that's because it came completely shattered, but I'm gonna use a little bit more, be a little bit more nimble, like when I go in, so it doesn't end up like that. I really like the eyeshadow result. I like that it's like, it's looking very like contrasty, it's looking blended, it's looking nice. At least like in real life it's looking blended. I don't know, sometimes on camera, I don't know. It's looking really nice. I liked working with this one. I do wish, you can see I've dug in here, I do wish the pomades were a little bit easier to pick up. Like, they are very pomadey, and I do wish they were just a smidge more creamy, but also that could be because I'm used to working with some other things. Of course I'm gonna do more things with this and I'll try it out. I'll try on the lips, I'll try on the cheeks, I'll do all the things, but I do like working with it, and I like that it looks very made, but it also has this effortlessness about it. I mean, just when I put on that one shade, it already looked really good, like that one pomade shade. So I look forward to trying this one out a little bit more. So far, I actually really enjoy it. I think it's a really good one. And these half lashes, stunning. Stunning. I mean, I use them as half lashes. What else did I use? I like this one. I thought the blush was nice. If you like a matte blush, I think it's fine. The sheen in it, it's not as noticeable as it is with the bronzer, but I think it's a nice color. I mean, it's still on there. It looks really good. Other than that, I mean, were there any new things? I don't know. I think these are my favorites. And the half lashes. Those are stunning. I hope you're having a great day. I will have actually a bonus video this week. So this week we're having 4 videos. Don't forget to check the description box for more info if you're wondering about any of these. If you're like, what shade did you use? Where can I find that? Everything is down in the description box. And there's also a video floating around here. The algorithm has picked another video for you. If you feel like you are not done and you want to see something else, but if you're done, if you need to go, I will see you in my next video, which is going to be fairly soon. Bye!